Good day, everyone, and trust we are having an awesome day so far. I really want to appreciate each and every one of us for creating time out of our busy schedule to be here on the April's edition of the Project 40. It's been an interesting journey from August till now, and we can't wait to end in a grand style. So my name is Progress Oberfun, and I'm reporting live from Abuja. So I would like to appreciate those that are joining us for the first time this April edition. And of course, I already see a lot of familiar faces. A lot of you have been with us from August down to now, and we do not take it for granted. And I hope it's been life-changing and transformational as it is been for me. I hope it has been for you as well. So today is going to be another explosive session. It promises to be informative, transformational, life-changing, and I would just want to encourage each and every one of us to kindly have our P square ready. And I mean your pen and your paper. Kindly have your pen and paper ready so that you can enjoy the session and not try to put everything in your head at the same time. So I hope you have yours ready. I have mine. And of course, for everyone on this call, please go on the comment section, the chat section, and just include typing your name and of course where you're watching from or where you're connecting from, and let's get the chat room vibing. Let's interact, let's talk, as this session is going to be another transformative session. So without much ado, I would like to welcome the founder, the one who has taken the responsibility and sacrifice to keep organizing such an explosive session like this for us every month, and at the same time bring us top speakers, industry leaders to come share with us their secrets, their lessons, their experiences, so that we don't have to make such mistake and learn from their mistake and of course their success as well. So today we're going to have another exciting session. I really can't wait. I'm so excited. And I would like to welcome Dr. Abioye. Okay, he is the CEO of Lifestyle Setup Limited and of course the founder of this great platform. He's somebody that his drive, his innovativeness, his genuine care. You know, when they talk about people you have in your association, one of the people you should have in your association is somebody that is so genuinely concerned and involved in your growth, wants you to grow and see much more out of what you even see for yourself. Like, he has so much expectations from you. Mr. Abioye is that person, and that's why we are all glad to have him in our lives already. And that's why he has been organizing sessions like this to, you know, help us grow and keep growing. As they say, you're either ripe and rotten or you're green and growing. So without much ado, please, Mr. Abioye, okay? I don't know if you can hear me, but if you can, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Progress. Thank you, thank you. Good evening from Abuja, Nigeria. Thank you all for being part of history again. Thank you for creating time to be part of this month's edition of the Project 40 Knowledge Hub. And I'm so glad we have a quorum already. And, you know, like I always like to say, your time is your life. Once spent can never be regained. And we're about to spend another about 60 minutes, maximum 90 minutes of our time today. I hope strongly that at the end of today's edition, it will not be a time spent, but it will be a time well invested. I'm so excited today. I'm so grateful to you all for joining. Thank you so much, Omotade, joining from Lagos. I like what you are doing in the agro space, one of our very strong member of the community. And I have my Oga joining from Lagos, Mr. Stallon, you know, a great mind, a great guy, someone everybody on this call should even meet. Thank you, Akinola, for joining from Abuja. And I'm glad to see Greg, my colleague, on this call today, also joining us from Abuja. Noel, I can see you from Abuja. Esther from Ogun State. Oh, fantastic. I'm glad to have one of my business partners join us today. I'm glad she made it all the way from Manchester, UK. Kemi, thank you for joining. And I'm glad to have Adeyemi Samuel from Abeokuta. You know, we have Kemi from Abuja, you know, and I'm so delighted already. And I can see Olatunji Afiz already from Accra. Yes, Olatunji Afiz is doing some great work in the fintech sector and also a very active member of the Project 40 Knowledge Hub. Yes, I can see my guy there, one of my business partners too. You know, Mr. Sunday Aderibigwe from Manchester, UK. Then, of course, I have Sandrine from Cameroon, Mexico. Sandrine, bonsoir à toi. And of course, I have, of course, Progress, joining from Abuja. Then we have Ibukun. So I just want to thank you all for joining. And I'm so glad that our special guest for today, she's in the house already. And I need you to please get ready. You know, there are a lot of leadership experts out there, but there's something very unique about our special guest for this month's edition. She's not just a leadership expert. You know, she brings out, let me say she's a leadership surgeon. Let me put it that way. You know, she can pieces you and return you back to your normal self. And at the end of the day, you'll be so surprised. Okay, so I need you all to please get ready today for an intellectual surgical operation with our guest today. You know, she's a member of the Forbes Council, and she has authored 3 best-selling leadership books. And today we'll be going very practical. Okay, we'll be going very practical, and I'm so glad, despite of our very busy schedule, she accepted to be on this call today. As a matter of fact, she just came back from an international trip. You know, as a matter of fact, she should be on a special vacation now. But she decided, because she understands the dynamics and the philosophy behind the Project 40 Knowledge Hub. Somebody was asking me today, why Project 40? Project 40, it's specially designed for people below the age of 40 to achieving greatness before you clock 40. All right? And of course, Project 40 is specially designed for people above the age of 40 to serve as a reminder, that, oh, Bob, you've clocked already, all right? How are you doing? Hope you are doing well. What do you need to do better? As you all agree with me, we should always be better. Okay, and before I introduce our guest today, I just want to quickly share a quote with you. And the quote reads, "We are no longer in the dispensation of age and experience. We are in the era of knowledge and information. Information leads a true leader, and a true leader leads others." Okay, today we're about to share some very unique information with you. I don't know if any one of you, if you were part of last month's edition when we had Mr. Ugo. It was explosive, it was powerful. Okay, in everything that Mr. Ugo shared with us last month, there is a leadership component to it. And today, our guest today is going to bring that leadership component to life. So I want to encourage you that if you missed last month's edition, please just go to our YouTube channel and please watch a replay of Mr. Ugo said, the edition we had with Mr. Ugo after today or tomorrow, depending on your flexibility of time. Watch it, then you'll be able to relate with what we're about to share with you today. I need you to open your mind, get ready, with a smiling ovation, please welcome to the virtual stage, Kemi Ogunkoya. Hi, Kemi.
Hello, good evening. Thank you so much, Dr. Abioye, for having me. It's such a great honor and privilege to be here. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. You know, for those listening to me right now, you do me a favor. Please go on the chat column and please welcome Kemi Ogunkoya for me. If not, she'll go offline. Okay, give her a welcome. You know, give her a virtual hug. You know, please appreciate her because it's a big sacrifice she's making, you know, to be on this call today. So thank you so much, Kemi.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure, really. It's a pleasure. And I'm sure by the time we'll be having the grand edition by 26th of July this year at a location in Africa, most members of this community will be very delighted to meeting you in person after listening to you share some interesting, fresh content with us today on leadership. We've titled this edition, Leading Your Way to Greatness. You know, leadership, as you agree, it's very dynamic. Okay, most people fail because of self-leadership, the ability to lead themselves. So I would like you to please give us like an holistic concept to that concept of self-leadership. Why is self-leadership? Why is it very important?
All right, thank you very much for that question. And, you know, a big well done on all that you do at the Lifestyle Hub and this amazing project, Project 40. It's really incredible. And, you know, I'm grateful for the transformation that you're bringing, both in, you know, the housing sector and also in the lives of people. Now, when we talk about leadership, right, there's usually this misconception around that word of leadership. When people hear about leadership, the first thing that usually comes to mind for a lot of people is the concept of directing, instructing others, you know, passing on information, guiding people towards a particular path, achieving an objective, and all of that. But then at the core of it, really, when we look around us, we see that there's a lot of failure in how people are able to execute. And I'm talking about execution right from, you know, the home front, from personal lives, to businesses and also the nation at large. And that is because the lens and understanding of leadership we have is pretty much flawed. Now, there's a quote that I came up with a few years ago, and the quote says that you cannot become better at what you do unless you become better at who you are, right? I'll repeat that again. So you cannot become better at what you do unless you become better at who you are. Now, the crux of that is self-leadership. And until you are able to lead yourself and lead yourself effectively, you will struggle to lead other people. Now, when you look at the concept of leadership in itself, you know, there's been a lot of research and a whole lot of work is going on in that space. You have a lot of definitions of leadership here and there, but, you know, I like us to look at leadership from the place of the elements that come together to manifest itself in all that we do. As the popular leadership expert would say, John Maxwell, that everything rises and falls on leadership. Now, leadership in itself begins with self. And like I said, if you cannot lead yourself, you will struggle to lead other people. Now, the concept of leadership in itself is a combination of different elements. And those elements include your thoughts. It goes on to include your beliefs, your perspective, your personality, your motivation, your interest, your passion, your purpose, you know, your actions, your feelings. All of these come together to deliver this package of leadership. But all of that will never materialize if you do not get to lead yourself. So I work with a lot of leaders, you know, across different industries, across, you know, different countries. And here is the thing. I just see a lot of people focus on what they want to achieve. But the first project that you want to achieve on is a project of self. And when you struggle there, you will struggle with every other thing. You will struggle to, function effectively in the family circle. You will struggle to function in the business circle. You will struggle to also function, in different communities too. So it is about understanding what the concept of leadership really means. It is about demystifying this concept of leadership. It is about, absorbing and living the lifestyle of leadership. That is what makes self-leadership really unique, because when you step into that place of power, it impacts everything around you.
Beautiful. Now, I like that your quote that you cannot become better at what you do until you become better at who you are. And you said we need to embark on a project, and you said it should be project on self. So I call it project self. Okay. Okay, I call it project self. Now, I was watching a training or a presentation by Miles Monroe, and he said something that struck me. He said, the day you discover how powerful you are, you'll be so scared of yourself since that day. So what that simply means that most people don't develop, most of us, we are just cruel, we are not refined because we refuse to develop ourselves. Okay, because for us to earn more, we need to be better, like you've said. So what will be your own advice based on your different years of experience? Okay, what will be your own advice to us on what we can do to refine ourselves and become really better citizens of the marketplace?
All right, thank you very much for that. I love that quote by Miles Monroe. And to buttress or to lay evidence more to even that quote, there's this quote I love by Socrates, and it says that an unexamined life is not worth living, right? Because for you to get to that point of discovery, you definitely need to, or get to that point of awareness, you need to begin with discovery. Now, when we look at leadership, there are 4 key pillars of self-leadership, right? And it starts with self-awareness. But, when you go deeper even into that, you see that the pillar is that of self-discovery. Now, what happens a lot of times is that we assume we know ourselves. We assume that, I've been in my body for X years, 50 years, 30 years, right? And I know everything about me. But then we really take our time to begin from that place of self-discovery. Now, why we see a lot of frustrations, why we see a lot of, people not able to achieve results in the workplace is because they haven't begun with a project of self. They haven't begun, with self-discovery. And when we talk about self-discovery, we're talking about leaders getting to understand what their strengths are. For example, you get to understand what your weaknesses or growth areas, I like to call it growth areas, are. You get to understand what you're passionate about. A lot of people in the workplace are doing things that they have absolutely no business doing. In fact, a lot of people get to the point where they go borrow other people's personality, right? In their minds, they borrow other people's personalities, they borrow other people's ambitions, they borrow other people's strengths. Maybe they loan some of these and they never get to the point of returning some of this. But it begins with self-discovery, and self-discovery in itself is a journey. Now, guess what? It's a journey that never ends. So which means that you should never get to that point where you say to yourself, oh, I have read 5,000 books by John Maxwell, right? I've read all Kemi Ogunkoya's book, and I've attended all the sessions in Project 40. And you get yourself a lovely plaque, put it in your bookshelf and say, yes, that is it. You are going to be setting yourself up for failure. It is about you understanding that self-leadership is a continuum. It's a journey that would never end. It requires you unlearning. And I start with unlearning because a lot of us have so much to unlearn and we don't even have space for learning because we're full. So it starts with unlearning, starts with you learning, and then it continues with you constantly relearning. So it begins with that pillar self-discovery. And then, you get to know your personality. And then you get to know the areas you struggle, right? So that you can consolidate on the areas of your strengths and then look for how to work around your weaknesses. But you will not be wallowing in your weaknesses. Now, the other pillar of that is what we call the pillar of self-acceptance, right? We see people in the workplace who do not accept themselves, haven't gotten to that place where they can embrace their unique gift. They haven't gotten to that place where they can embrace their unique strengths, where they're constantly going online or going friend shopping, and they wish, they can purchase the attributes of others. For you to get to that point of success, you need to accept yourself. However, understand that accepting yourself does not mean that you remain where you are. It is not a license for lack of growth. It is not a license for stagnation. So when you accept yourself, you get to the point where you say, yes, this is who I am. This is my personality. These are my strengths. These are my growth areas. These are the places I lack competence, and these are the places I need to improve on. So when you go through self-acceptance, the next level is what we call self-management, right? Self-management. And with self-management, you get to that point where you're able to control your emotional impulses. Now, we have a lot of leaders, a lot of, want-to-be successful entrepreneurs who have big dreams, right? I hear some of these big dreams over and over again. Great dreams, great ideas, but they lack the emotional, capacity to achieve. They lack the emotional capacity to remain resilient in the face of obstacles. They lack the emotional capacity to do what they have to do. They lack the emotional capacity to deal with emotional problems. They lack the capacity, to learn new skills. So self-management is about how you can deal with your emotional impulses up to the point that it is not what becomes your stumbling block. Which means that, for example, if you need to do that difficult work of getting on the phone with a client, you get it done, irrespective of how you feel that day. It means that if you have to, send an email 10 times and you haven't gotten a response, you can still keep going because you can manage your emotions up to the point that you do not see every stumbling block as, village people at work. Right? So that's self-management. And then you now move on to the next level, which is self-growth. We desire a whole lot of things, but most times we're not willing to put in the work. We're not willing to put in the work. And I say that if we really want to get to that point of success in life and in our careers and businesses, we need to, at every point in time, be able to reflect, and we're able to state clearly where we are, where we want to be, and understand exactly what we need to bridge that gap.
Okay, thank you so much, Kemi. Okay, Samuel, if you can hear me clearly, I need you to unmute my second device. Okay, unmute my second device right away, please. Beautiful, Kemi. Thank you so much for this great insight. And, you said something very striking. You said something very striking. And you said that we need to return all the funny things we've borrowed from others. Okay? You said there are certain things we borrowed. Sometimes when people are not self-aware, they limit themselves and they want to copy others. And based on what you just explained also, that when we borrow all those personalities, we are not able to achieve our real purpose. We are not able to achieve our great potentials. Okay. And of course, you also said something very striking. When you are talking about us unlearning, for us to unlearn the things we've learned. He said some of us who are so full of those wrong processes already that there is even no space to even add something even positive. Okay, so that for me, I find that very striking because trust me, most of people listening to us right now, okay, so the 4 pillars to self-leadership, self-discovery, self-acceptance, self-management, self-growth. Most people, trust me, this is where it ends. And for me, I find this very sad. Okay, it will shock everybody listening to us today that only 85% of people listening to us today will apply what is being shared. Okay, Kemi spoke about self-management, emotional intelligence, very critical, very important. Okay, but somebody will still wrongly approach a situation tonight. Okay, because of lack of emotional intelligence, most people have really lost clients. So Kemi, please, I would like you to please emphasize more on what we need to do to detox our system, what we need to do to remove and take off those wrong processes so that when we watch a replay of this very edition, we'll be able to absorb more of the things you've shared with us today.
All right, thank you very much for that, Dr. Abioye. Now, here's the thing, right? I say that a lot of people haven't gotten to the point of awareness, right? That's because they haven't developed or they haven't invested in developing that level of awareness. Now, you would need to get to a point of awareness for you to be really objective with yourself, to say, you know what, have a conversation with yourself. I call it the family meeting, body, mind, and soul, right? Where you call them together in a family meeting and say, Kemi, this is where we are. This is where we want to be. If you keep doing what you're doing today the same way you're doing it, will you get to your destination? And if the answer is no, then you need to start looking for new approaches, new techniques, new intervention, new resources, and adopt a higher level of resourcefulness in the case if it's required. One other thing that we can start to do is to start soliciting for feedback, right? And when we talk about feedback, it is something that a lot of us don't like to listen to. We get agitated when people give us feedback. We're anxious, we're upset. We see it as a personal attack on our person. Who are they to give me feedback? But any leader who is interested or who is passionate about growth will rethink how they see feedback. They will see feedback as data. They will see feedback as a tool for growth. In fact, those who want to grow will solicit for feedback. Whether the feedback is coming or not, they will go after it. They will ask people, so what do you think about me? What do you think about what I'm doing? Now, does it necessarily mean that everything you hear will be right? Absolutely not. But when you get to a point of awareness, you will get to a point of comfort where you can weigh what people have said vis-a-vis what you think and find, a balance somewhere. So we need to first start spending time with ourselves, right? Spending time to understand our thoughts, spending time to understand our feelings, because guess what? There is a very, very strong relationship between your thoughts and your actions, right? So when you act in a particular way, let me say, so you're a business, you're an entrepreneur, right? Or let me use myself as an example. So I want to secure a particular deal, and I have placed a call, the client didn't call me back, okay? And then I'm like, maybe they don't even want to do the business, or maybe I don't have what it takes, right? Maybe the other people better than me. Now, that is a thought. What that thought will birth is a feeling of inadequacy. It could birth a feeling of inadequacy. It could birth a feeling of frustration. And then I'll say to myself, maybe I'm not even good enough. right? Maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm not what I think I am, right? That's a feeling. Now, guess what that feeling would also produce? That feeling will produce a particular action. And the action may be that I'm not going to make that call again. I'm going to close that deal. And what have I potentially lost? I have potentially lost income. I have potentially lost revenue. I have potentially lost even bigger businesses, because if I follow through with that particular business, it could bring in, a chain of other resources or referrals. So we need to understand that pattern so that, for us to get to that point where we do not just become, we do not just become addicted to attending sessions and doing nothing. We need to get to that point where we can sit in, reflect, gain some level of clarity on what we want to achieve, because it begins with clarity. There's a quote by Yogi Berra that says that if you do not know where you're headed, you're going to wind up somewhere else, right? So it begins with clarity. If you do not know where you're headed, indeed, you will wind up somewhere else. If you have no big picture, if you have no dream about what you want to achieve, then you can let go of anything, because it will be all about trial and error, okay? So begin with clarity, consolidate your level of self-awareness. For some of us, we don't even know what our personalities are. So you won't get information about, why you act or behave the way you do. Why, you're that person who gives up easily. Why you're that person who is excited about new projects but never completes it. So invest time getting to know your personality. There are a lot of free personality tests online, that you can access. Do that, and then get feedback. Get feedback. The other thing you need to also be able to do is get to the point of objectivity, that you can clearly establish what the gaps are in your life at every given point in time. And then don't romance it. Don't make it, so I see behind Dr. Abioye, I see a very lovely bookshelf, don't let it be self-esteem that you have. Some people have lovely books that they have never read. They purchase books at the sight of every book. But then, rather than self-esteem that would come from reading the books, they have self-esteem. I have 1,000 books. They have to go way beyond that. Okay? Yeah. So seek competence and invest and be willing to pay for it.
Yeah, let me quickly report myself to you, Kemi, based on what you see behind me. Not all those books I've read, I must confess to you, Kemi. But you know what I do? I kept them behind me because I want to see them every day. And the ones I've not read, they keep talking to me daily. When I look at them, Abioye, when are you going to read? And anytime I want to travel, I will just look at them and say, who among you will be lucky to accompany me to my next trip? And I look around and I pick, So I want to encourage everyone, don't depend on ebooks alone. I have a lot of ebooks on my system, but sometimes they can all just get lost. From thousands of those ebooks you have, select your top 100, buy the physical book, make it as part of use it to decorate your space, and work as much as possible to read them. Because our body, now Kemi, I'm drifting towards my next question to you now, because our body is an indisciplined structure. Okay, our body is an indisciplined structure. It takes our mind to discipline our body, because our mind is supposed to be the master to our body. But it's very dangerous should we make the body the master, because by default, the body is designed to be disciplined. Trust me, Kemi, if I have my way right now, I will be right under my duvet, okay, with my AC, chilling, everywhere cold, relaxing, then I will just sleep off. That is exactly what I feel right now. But my mind said to me, Abioye, you made a commitment July last year that you are going to facilitate this kind of program every month for the next 1 year. And I thought about the people that will be let down. Should we go offline today? And I said, no. I've got to send a reminder to Kemi. I've got to tell her I'm excited, even though I'm trying to build my excitement. But trust me, I was sincerely very excited. Now, what would be your recommendation? Because I like what you just said now on what we need to do to offload those wrong processes off our system. And there is something you said about feedback that is one of my greatest takeaway right now. I would have said my greatest takeaway, but I don't know what you say again. I remember where I used to work before, my former boss, Bishop Barrow, will always say to me, Abioye is a gift. Sorry, feedback is a gift. Of course, Abioye is a gift. He always said to me that feedback is a gift. Feedback is a gift. Learn to receive it. But you took it to another dimension by telling us that feedback is a data, okay? And we can use this data as tool for growth. People with left self-esteem don't like to ask for feedback. And I'm glad you brought this to play again. And you spoke about objectivity, because without objectivity, we cannot know ourselves better, because we have to tell ourselves the bitter truth. So Kemi, what do we need to do to encourage this body? Okay, what do we need to do to incentivize this body to act? Because it's still this body that will take us around the marketplace or the workplace.
Thank you very much for that question. So, the body plays a significant part in how we're able to get things done. But I think the mind has a greater control. So you say that you are out here, and why you may feel like, oh, I should be in bed right now, I should be under the duvet, I should be in maybe Seychelles by the beach, having a great time with my family, but then you choose to be here because you made your mind win, right? The mind won over, the desires of the body, and that's why you're here. That's why you're able to bring this much energy. So it begins with the mind. And, if I can go back to what I spoke about earlier, talking about the relationship between your thoughts, your feelings, and then your action, it actually begins with the mind. So what are you filling your mind with, right? Guess what? The average human being processes about 60,000 thoughts daily, right? About 60,000 thoughts daily. That is based on research. Now, how many of those thoughts are you aware of? And I should say that majority of those thoughts, unfortunately, are negative thoughts. So imagine constantly, regurgitating negative thoughts over and over again. That's what leads a lot of people to that place where they're totally down and they're not willing to make that move. So what do we need to do? We need to begin first with that journey of setting, of clearing our minds, right? Of taking out the clutter. Okay, so we call it a mind decluttering process, where you're able to purge yourself, express yourself, maybe in a journal, or you go through coaching. Now, for some people, you're dealing with chronic procrastination. For some, it's chronic perfectionism. For some, it's just that they haven't even found the energy. For some, it's that they lack clarity. Okay, so you need to define exactly what the challenge is. For some, they lack competence. Now, for each of these possible challenges, there's a way out. So there's no one fits all approach or, a silver bullet. However, there are so many things that we can start to do. One is that we go back to that place of awareness, and then we're constantly reflecting and reviewing. I say that there is no person who has achieved consistent and sustainable amount of greatness or excellence in life who does not create time to reflect. And when I say creating time to reflect, I don't mean worrying, because some people are, I'm worried. I don't know why my business is like this. I don't know why I've not been able to, and some of us have a strong relationship with worrying, right? We have a deep romance. Like, if we don't worry, we can be sick. Now, the people who get the results are not the warriors. They are the critical thinkers who are able to birth a solution from that problem. So they are the Dr. Abioyes who will see a problem and also sit in to see a solution. So when I joined in, I was listening to the videos that were being played, and it was at that point you were talking about when you first had the idea for Lifestyle Hub, and then the first thought was doing crowdfunding, and then you thought about it, and then you were able to come up with the social funding scheme. That's what thinking does for us. That's what making out time to think does for us. So if you really want to lead yourself and lead yourself through to success, you cannot afford not to think. Now, guess what? Thinking is not also that thing that you can totally outsource. Some people can think for you. Oh, yeah, they have great ideas. But whatever they even give to you, you have to be able to sit in and say, this is what I want to do. This is the direction I'm going. What else do you need to do? For some, it's that you would need, to invest in personal development. Some people, the only thing personal development they can invest on is freebies. Free. You may say free, yes. Sign up. Your entire email box is filled with so many emails that you have no business, because everything free is what you're looking for. Now, let me share a quick story, right? About this journey on personal development and investment. Remember I said it's the mind. So I remember when I wanted to pay for my first training, I just finished NYSC then, and I could use my hand to count all my money, right? And what was in the bank account. So then this training came up, then it was 50K. I was thinking, okay, let me get to the next level. I was looking at that 50,000. I said, how can I take this 50,000 and go and give it to somebody to say I'm doing training? For 2 weeks, I had that page on my laptop. I would wake up in the morning, I would look at, no. I was romancing this page for like 2 weeks. Finally, I said, you know what, let me even pay this one. Let me see whether I wake up the next morning. I woke up. And guess what happened? It was beyond the training I actually attended. It was how much my mind was expanded, because I stretched myself to do it. But guess what happened? I was able to command so much more worth internally to ask for more. I was able to look for new job opportunities, and guess what? I was able to invest so much money personally. Now, did that mean that the entire journey has been, so say, as they say? Absolutely not. But it is about, setting your mind free from the bondage of money. It is about setting your mind free from the bondage of lack. It is about setting your mind free, from the cages of suffering. And that's what it's about. So personal development is key. The other thing is coaching. I spoke about coaching, I spoke about therapy. Now, there are some people who, no matter how much they try, and I'm not trying to be pessimistic, no matter how much they try on their own, there's a level they can't get to. Why? Because there are a lot of unresolved traumas that no matter how much they are running forward, the trauma has a very, very big chain that is holding them down. And the trauma is holding the mind down. For some, it is about, oh, you know what? I'm not from a rich family. And for that reason, you carry that trauma, or, we used to, all of us, we share one cup of dairy. When we share one cup, even sometimes we will even eat raw rice, and then you don't heal from that pain. You don't heal from that suffering. For some, it's abuse, right? Maybe physical, verbal abuse. You don't heal from it. And then you go into the workplace. Guess what? There's a chain somewhere that is holding your mind down. And for that reason, you may not be able to experience that level of abundance, irrespective of the environment you find yourself. So coaching, therapy are all tools and techniques that can also be adopted, to get ourselves out of this bondage. And then discipline. discipline is that big one that can also help us get to leading ourselves effectively so that we can achieve better results in our personal lives and our business.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Kemi, for this. You spoke about that we need to stop dating worries. Some of us are so romantically entangled with being worried, because when you want to think, like you rightly said, you must think solution, solution thinking,
Yeah.
And solution thinking really inspires. And one of the models I've really used to liberate myself from negativity was a very simple question. Anytime in the period of crisis, period of challenges, because once there is a crisis, once there is a challenge, on the other end is growth. Once you're able to overcome that challenge, you grow, you become better. Then I simply ask myself, Abioye, who would you become should you overcome this challenge? So the person I was going to become will be an incentive for me to stay focused, okay, to redesign my dating life. So, and start dating solution thinking, okay? And you talk about the power of reflection, okay? Reflection, it's very powerful. I discovered that concept of reflection, I think sometime in 2010, it practically changed my life, okay? For me, and I took it to another level. I just want to call it the way it is. I call it fantasy. Fantasy is typically when you think about something that is not possible. Okay, because since I discovered myself that I am possible, I would rather think about what is not possible. Then after thinking about it, I ask myself, what do I need to do to make this impossible possible?
Oh,
you get what I'm saying? Because the car I drive today was a fantasy. Okay, the apartment I lived in right now was a fantasy. The kind of people I have in my circle, people like you, for example, Kemi, we're all just fantasies, because how will I be able to attract quality people? And like you rightly said, for us to attract quality things in our lives, we just have to be better. We've got to be people of quality, because quality attracts quality. Poverty attracts poverty. Wealth attracts wealth. Okay, now, and you also said you made mention of 3 things, by way of recapping all you've said, because I really need to drive it home, really, because you're not just speaking to my guests today, you are also speaking to me, myself, Abioye, because for me, I like to hear things like this because it keeps me focused. You talk about the power of coaching, mentoring, and therapy, and you really emphasize on the importance of therapy. For me, that was a new one for me, because sometimes we typically focus on coaching, mentoring, get a coach, get a mentor, get a therapist too. Someone that can really help you psychologically to overcome some of those things that have really weighed you down. At the beginning, I said to us today that Kemi is going to take leadership conversation to another level, giving us very fresh content we can use to expand the frontier of our careers and our businesses. Now, Kemi, we're rounding down gradually. Okay, we're running down gradually. And for those of you listening to us right now, what have you heard from Kemi today that have struck you the most? Please drop it on the chat column so that people scrolling through what you've dropped, because what I find very useful might not be what you find very useful. So let us just quickly do a learning check, a knowledge check. You talk about reflection, Kemi. I also, just like I said, fantasy, I also always like to talk about the power of meditation, especially when it comes to your God. When it comes to your God, for me, I used to be very foolish. I thought I had all the intellectual capacity to achieve greatness until I started failing. And I started realizing that, oh, Abioye, you need to go back to God, you need to go back to God. I realized later, Kemi, that I was just talking to God. I would just talk blah, 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 through prayers. I would just talk to God through prayers, but I would refuse to even listen to God until I discovered the power of reflection or meditation. So this concept, Kemi just shared with you, you can also use it as a concept to hear directly from God. After every prayer session, either at night or in the morning, wait a little while and reflect and meditate. There is a voice that will speak to you. Trust me, most likely is a voice of God, and you will know if it's God speaking to you, and it might be your action for the next day. And you could forget that action if you don't write it down. And quickly, Kemi, talking about, you talk about Jonas earlier, noting things down, and keeping track of our lives. I will also want to, in line, to let people know the importance of having journals. It's very critical, it's very important. A good culture of journal can help you become a dream trapper. What do I mean by trapping dreams? Kemi, sometimes you sleep, you just have this revelation through dreams. You say, wow, this is powerful. By once I wake up tomorrow, as I brush my teeth, I'm going to go and implement this thing. Nalayo, it's gone. It's gone for life. You will never remember it again. Or you dream about something, you know that this is not too good. I need to pray about this. And you wake up, it's gone. Well, guess what, Kemi? We can trap those dreams. All we need to do is to have a journal by our bedside. And that journal, if you have to use rope, tie it to a rope to your bed and a pen. Never allow it to leave your bed. For every dream, quickly write it down. Even the devil will be shocked. Say, what? This revelation that God just gave this guy, this lady, I was hoping to take it off from you, but guess what? You've been able to trap it. So I want to encourage us. It's a concept I really want every one of us to try out. It's very powerful. Now, Kemi, now I want us to please neuralize, to CDWise, and duralize this conversation. Okay. Because for me, the bottom line for knowledge is very key. If what you know is not giving you results, what you know is an illusion of knowledge, not the real knowledge yet. So how can we use this leadership concept you've shared with us today? How can we use this concept to expand the frontier of our careers for those that are workplace professionals, or use it to expand the frontier of our businesses for those of us that are entrepreneurs, as we run down gradually?
Okay. All right. So I'll answer that question by sharing my own personal story, so that it helps us understand the transition. So when I started out in business, I didn't know all these things I was talking about. And sometimes it wasn't that I didn't even know, it was that I knew, but there's a difference between knowing and doing. I always say that insights without actions will always be useless. So I had some insights, some I got, but I wasn't using it. Now, this is what happened. I was at a level, I was stuck. What this knowledge and the adoption of leadership, because I believe that we need to step away from the nightstand approach of leadership to actually imbibing leadership as a lifestyle. When you imbibe leadership as a lifestyle, it sets you on a different trajectory, which means that you're able to first control your mind, you're able to gain deeper level of clarity, you're able to be someone who is of great character. And I'm sharing from, a model that I created called the dozen model. It helps you develop character. And I'll tell you how all of this come to play. It helps you develop competence. It helps you become someone who can commit to achieving things and getting things done. It helps you become someone who can build connection with people, not connection that is parasitic, mutually beneficial connection. Because when you step into the place of leadership, you start to see yourself from a light of value. You know that irrespective of the relationship, you always have something to offer. It helps you develop communication skills. And when you have communication skills as an individual, both intra and inter, which means a communication within yourself and communication with other people, you can get anything done. So just before this session, I had someone who was billing me like for a particular project I wanted to get done, 180K for that project. At the end of that conversation, the person was willing to take 40K for the same thing.
Please, sorry, Kemi. Can you please tell her what was the secret, please?
It was communication. It was me understanding where this person was, and it wasn't like the person. It's not like I, on that chat. No, it was about understanding. Okay, what did this person want to hear? I built a rapport. Hey, so you want me to go back to my village? Hey, I said, it's not like that, no. It's not like that. Before I knew, see what may I have? Oh, this is this. It would make you talk to it. There's nobody I can't talk to, right? Wherever you fit, if I need to also bring that skill to talk to a street person, like I go, bros now, waiting now, we did this person, it will make you understand how to navigate your way through life. And when you can navigate your way through life and have meaningful conversations with people, when you can build effective connection with people, there's something that Dr. Abioye usually says, and he says that, sometimes it's not money that you need, it's relationship. You see that relationship, don't joke with it. It's your greatest currency. When you develop leadership skills, they help you also understand the concept of consequences. So which means that you will become more aware of the consequences of your actions and inactions. When you develop leadership skills, you become more consistent, which means that you can take a particular vision and you can run with it. When you develop leadership skills, it helps you become a critical thinker. And that way you're able to achieve results. The greatest people who have produced results in this world, take a look. They did not just wake up and say they want to do something, they thought about it. And that's why they're able to sustain it. When you develop leadership skills, you become someone who's also empathetic. When you develop leadership skills, you can build a community that can create wealth for you. Now, I was talking about my story earlier, and I said, I started out in business. I knew the technicalities, but the skills, the leadership skills were not there. So I didn't have direction. I was not doing the business, buy and buy. Direction was a problem. Because there was no direction, the business hit rock bottom in 2 years. Not because I could not speak the English now. I could speak the English, but then I didn't have the skills from self. And it was in one of those low moments that I came up with that quote: you cannot become better at what you do unless you become better at who you are, right? So I had to become better at who I am. Now, I went from this person who was barely able to make sales. In fact, the first open trading I wanted to do was 5,000 naira. 5,000, no, nobody paid. And I was so sad, I was so angry, I was so frustrated. But here, developing these skills, having great level of clarity, having the character that is needed, developing the competence, being committed, developing right connection with people, understanding the secrets of human relationship, being able to, gain that level of confidence and competence, being able to communicate. Now I can do trainings of $4K, $5K, and people will pay. People will pay. So that's what happens when you develop leadership, because leadership, helps you develop every other area of your life. So it's not just aspire to perspire. It is real. I'm talking about this from my own experience. And why I don't even want the focus to just be on the monetary value. It is who you become, right? It is who you become. It's who you can attract. So I have relationship with people that I never thought I would have relationship with, right? Bank CEOs, ministers, ambassadors, that, then when I just, where was the confidence? Where was the competence? Where was the clarity? So these skills absolutely transform your life. And if you're not taking anything away from tonight, please understand that you cannot become better at what you do unless you become better at who you are. Thank you very much.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. I just want to encourage every one of us to please commit to applying principle of leadership and make it a lifestyle. I remember clearly one of the greatest principles I learned from John C. Maxwell through his book, Winning with People, was the I Road principle. The I Road principle, where he talked about treating people better than the way they treated us. for me, that was a game changer for me. Sometimes some people around me say, you are too naive, you are too that. I say, no, because he treated me, this was something I should. And at the end of the day, when you treat people better than the way they treated you, they will eat from your palm almost for the rest of their lives. They will want to follow you. They want to say, wow, this guy did not repay me back in my own coin. So before I ask Kemi the very last question from me today, for those of you that have stayed with us this far, thank you so very much. A replay of this edition will be live on the YouTube channel within the next 48 hours. Please try and watch a replay, share as much as possible with your friends. So for those of you, I would like to entertain 2 or 3 questions maximum. So if you have questions for Kemi today, I will need you to please just raise your hand virtually. Okay, just raise your hand and please ask those questions. So once you just raise your hand, then I will call on you to ask those questions, okay? Then of course, Mr. Stallone says that people romance worry. That one's strong. Oh, yes, it's strong. We need to stop. We need to stop romancing with worries. Kemi is straight to the point. No messing around or with plenty information. Yes, it's been very precise, and that's why we'll be rounding up in record time today, because I need you all to have some time to reflect deeply tonight. And Oluwatosin talked about building self-esteem and not self-esteem. Yeah, that is also very powerful. Build self-esteem and not self-esteem, okay? And then Olaoluwa, okay, my big brother is saying that an unexamined life is not worth living. Yes, in short, an unexamined life should not eat breakfast for the next 2 months. I remember my former lecturer in Uniben always said to us that you need to work for every breakfast you take every day. You need to read for at least 4 hours before you take your breakfast. If you've not read for 4 hours, that means you don't deserve to eat breakfast. And that was the guiding principle that took me through my stay in university. Then Kola Wole Alonga said, you cannot become better in what you do until you become in who you are. Absolutely. Okay, yeah, that's for you, one of your strong learning points. And of course, value for time, very good. And Stallone came back to say that what is Kemi's exact recipe for launching ideas that are stored up inside one? Wow, that is a very important question, Kemi. That what is the exact recipe for launching ideas that are stored up inside? Kemi, your insight, please.
All right, thank you very much for that question. So I'm someone who believes in what we call marginal improvement. And I believe that when you are on a journey, when you take the smallest step, no matter how little, right, you have more chances at succeeding than when you do not take that step at all. Now, for me, I have quite a whole lot going on. But here's what I do and I always do. When I have an idea, I write it down. Dr. Abioye spoke earlier about journaling, right? Please don't play with journal. Now, journaling has even gone to a different level. You don't even need to have a physical journal. Just make sure that you have the habit of documenting. Start seeing it as documentation. Documenting your thoughts, your ideas at every point. Get something. So I have a lot of journals, I have journals everywhere, by my bed, but sometimes I'm not able to reach my journal. Guess what? You can put information on your phone. Every phone should have what we call notes. I use my notes. My notes pad on my phone is a total mess because I have so many. So immediately I think of the idea, I just put it. Sometimes I'm not even able to really sit down and type. I will record that thought. I will do voice recording. I will record that thought. Make sure you're always capturing your thoughts. Make sure you're always capturing your thoughts because they can just fly away. Now, when you capture those thoughts and those ideas, when they come, take the smallest step. Take the smallest step. Now, what can the smallest step be sometimes? The smallest step could be writing it down. The smallest step could be you getting on the phone to say, oh, I want to do this thing, negotiate the price and pay, make a part payment. That way you have committed. That way you have committed. If you have parted with your money, you will remember that, somebody is owing you money somewhere that you have to go and say, how far with my work? Take the smallest step. The smallest step could be a phone call. It could be a financial commitment. It could be a financial investment. It could be a call to a friend to say, oh, I'm working on this thing, or someone you trust, a mentor to hold you accountable. But there's something we call, just like now I can't remember, diminishing return, right? In economics. Also, when it comes to your dreams, that concept of diminishing returns also comes in, because when you have an idea, when you have a dream, the longer it takes for you to do something about it, the quicker, you start to forget about that particular dream, or your energy starts to dwindle. So do the smallest thing. And when you do that small thing, take the next smallest step. Take the next smallest step after that again. And that way, most likely you can achieve. So like I said, when I have an idea, I'm calling, maybe it could be a design or something. I want to do a project. I will call my graphic designer, design this flyer for me, right? It could be as simple as that. It could be as simple as calling my personal assistant to say, oh, calendarize this thing for me. But do not just let your ideas go. Your ideas have potential to birth great things for you. If we could quantify the number of things that we have lost by not documenting our ideas, and if we could see the other side of it, you will see how much riches you are throwing away. So do the smallest thing. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. She dropped another concept for us today. I don't know if anybody got it or caught it. I did, and I'm going to run with it. She spoke about marginal improvement. Marginal improvement. In French, there is a word, there is a statement in French that says that petit à petit, l'oiseau fait son nid. Petit à petit, l'oiseau fait son nid. Little by little, the bird makes its nest. Taking action on a daily basis, simply because action kills fear and inaction deepens fear. And if I'm to say what she said in another way, the longer it takes you to start the process for implementing your dream or your vision, the faster the village people will take it away from you.
If we get to you.
Okay, so you've got to be a step ahead of them. And it's by action, daily action. One day somebody was saying that, when is Nigeria going to be like Dubai? I said, no, you can't catch up with them, okay, because they keep moving on a daily basis. And that's how you should be in the workplace, in the marketplace too. Like one of my great partners will always say, Eladin, Aruna, that don't strive to be the best, okay? Don't strive to be one of the best, strive to be the only one. I don't know if you understand what it is. Strive to be the only one in terms of making yourself as unique as possible, okay? And then there's a question for you shortly, but Progress said, thank you so much, Madam Kemi. Such a refreshing section. One of my major take home is the power of reflection. Thank you, Progress. Then Stallone is saying that for most people, monetization of their gift is a big challenge. So what would be your advice on monetizing our gifts?
So I think when we talk about monetization, and it still takes us back to the place of self-awareness. Now, the challenge a lot of times is not that we don't know how to monetize, is that we have an idea or, a false understanding of how money works, right? And a lot of times it's from our mind. So some people have gifts and they're really talented, and they commonize the talent, right? That talent that you commonize, what's the big deal in talking? What's the big deal in talking? Who told you there's no big deal in talking? Who told you there's no big deal in talking? The people who, earn millions of dollars by just opening their mouths. Somebody told you, maybe just cooking now. People can cook. People not cooking in their houses. Who told you that? Right? So the first thing is to deal with the mindset and understand what is your money mindset. Have you gotten to the place of comfort with this skill, with this gift, with this assignment, that you can actually go for it? Do you feel that you have enough value that people are willing to pay for? Right? Because those are the things that hold us back. Now, when you get to that point where you answer those questions and, of course, you don't just answer with a yes, no. You actually give it depth, you give it meaning. Then you develop competence and you keep building competence. I don't think fear would come in for you to now start, should I monetize or not? No. You would understand that there are so many tools, there are so many techniques, there are so many ways you can monetize, right? So if it's, you want to write a book, it's your concept of commonizing that will make you think, what do I even want to write? Do you know how many books there are in the world? You just go on Google. How many books have been written? Google now tells you 1 billion. Who wants to read the one I'm reading? It's your mind.
Yeah.
Right? There are caterers everywhere. Everywhere you go on Instagram, people are selling clothes. People are even into real estate. Everybody is baby builder. Hey. Who told you? Who told you? So deal with the mind, develop competence, and start building a platform. Start building a community. And do not be afraid to show us what you have. Do not be ashamed. I spoke about do not be afraid. Now, do not be ashamed to show us what you can do. Now, do not rethink the fact, or you have to rethink the fact that you feel that you are not worthy of pay. For every skill, for every talent, and if you permit me to go even into the holy books, where talents were given, there was an expectation. So for all that you are given, it's not for you to go and keep it and say, and I'm very good at this thing. If I do my own, do it and charge and see if people will not pay.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kemi. One thing I love about this session, and that's the reason why I'm going to watch a replay of this, is how practicable everything Kemi is sharing with us today. How practicable. And I like what she said about us understanding the concept of money. It helps us to reposition the way we put our talent in the marketplace. And in addition to what she said, one of the ways you can also monetize your talent is by giving out for free. Okay, giving it out for free because it's an investment. Kemi, somebody came to me one day, he said, Abioye, I've walked around the street of Abuja, I've been submitting my CV, no job. I just said, okay, you know what you do for me? From one end of Aminu Kano Street to the other end, there are different companies there. Walk in there and ask that you want to see the HR manager or the admin manager. He said, okay, what do I do? When you get an audience with the admin manager, introduce yourself professionally. Don't say, my name is Zamzat, I am unemployed. People don't like to employ unemployed people. Okay, so that means you are mentally shut down. So my name is, if you're skilled, if you study IT or computer science, my name is Suzu, I'm a computer scientist. I was just walking through and I like what your organization is all about. Okay, and I would like to offer my service for free for 3 months. You don't need to pay me. Trust me, you don't need to pay me. I just want to offer my service for free for 3 months. And I said to him, I can assure you that by the time you walk into 20 organizations that way, one of them will say, are you serious? For free, for 3 months, or yeah, come and work. Okay. And one of the organizations you walked into, Kemi, you won't believe, one of them said, okay, start tomorrow. Okay. First day, second day, third day, they said, young man, take for your transport, because it was adding value. He said 3 months, in less than 2 months, he got employed in that organization. In short, they had to push somebody out of that organization for him to have a place, because it came with so much value. So we must learn to give our talent for free, because it goes a long way in opening doors for us, and Isaac is saying, developing competence is key. Oh, yes, it's key. With competence, you can go away with murder. When I say murder, I don't mean killing somebody. Okay, don't get me wrong. With competence, you can negotiate anything. Once you are really competent, you can even tell your boss that you want to be working from home, and you know your KPIs, and you are going to deliver. Your boss knows your stuff now. Who could accept potentially. Thank you, Jasper from Accra, Ghana. I see you. Thank you. Then Priscilla, deal with mind, develop competence, build community, develop, do not be afraid, do not be ashamed. Priscilla, you are indeed here, you are indeed here, okay? Now, like what Priscilla said, building a community, let me reemphasize that also. Kemi said something that with the right leadership skills, with the right leadership community competence, you can build a unique community. And it's those community that will read your book first now. Okay, it's those community that will buy your clothes you are selling. Okay, it's those community, even they lack the capacity to buy those apartments you are selling, it's then they will refer you to their uncles, okay, that will have the capacity to buy. Every one of you listening to me today, you must build a community. It's very important. It's very and for those of you watching or joining us for the first time, if you are not on our WhatsApp group yet, I will encourage you to join the WhatsApp group. Now, this is not a WhatsApp group where people post on a daily basis. No, not at all. Okay, it's only admin that can post, because some of you don't join WhatsApp because of the chaos. Okay, it's only once in a while we open the WhatsApp group up for comment. And the idea of the WhatsApp group so that you can get notification for our future engagement, future events, real time. So Samuel, Progress, if you can hear me clearly, please kindly drop a link to the WhatsApp group. Please kindly join. Of course, if you don't like group, you don't want to join, it's okay not to join. But what it does for you is that it gives you access to having real-time information every time. So for those of you, we have less than 5 minutes to go. If you have questions for Kemi, because I know before she drifts into our other engagement for the day, this is the time for you to quickly type out your question. And of course, if you have a good voice and you are not ashamed, raise up your hand, we'll unmute you, then the whole world will listen to your voice. All right? Solomon Walter, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's true. Relevance is relative, and self-awareness fuels relevance. Absolutely. Before I do a quick recap and get Kemi to do a final summary of everything she has shared with us today, let me quickly make some quick announcements. And of course, I have a gift for 2 people. Joining us today, and I will be mentioning your names very shortly. So just keep doing what you are doing now. If you change it, you might miss out on my gift for you today. Okay, it's because you've been consistent in doing something from the beginning of this presentation today to this very point. Before I call on Omotade, let me quickly give some quick announcements. As part of the value we brought to the table for Project 40, it's the idea box. Is the idea vote. We are going to drop the digital form again. If you have a good idea, please drop your ideas on that idea vote. Okay, we can potentially matchmake you with potential investors. Okay, on the WhatsApp group sometime next week, I'm going to announce a period, okay, I just want to clear my schedule, where I am going to do a Zoom meeting every day. For those of you that have been able to drop your ideas on the idea vote, what are we going to do on the Zoom meeting? I'm going to invite some of the people within my community, okay? And you will pitch to them, okay? And I'm going to beg Kemi to also be on one of those sessions. Okay, you never know. She might just want to invest in your idea if it's good enough for her, you know. So I want to encourage you, if you have a great idea that you believe can be dollarized, can be monetized, please take advantage of the idea vote as we drop the form again. Then there's what we call the growth matrix form. We want you to fill that form, is very critical. That vote matrix, the growth matrix could potentially qualify you as part of the 40 people that will be getting awards during our grand finale by 26th of July this year, okay? Because we'll be awarding the 40 most improved members of our community. Top 40 people that have created more jobs, top 40 people that have improved in their careers. So you mustn't be an entrepreneur to win this award, okay? Because all of us cannot become entrepreneurs, but all of us can have mindset of entrepreneurs. They are two different things. Anybody that wants to succeed in your career, in your business, you should have the mindset of an entrepreneur. So I encourage you, take that growth matrix very seriously. It's just a survey to know exactly where you are. Then we'll use your information to judge you sometime early July this very year. And that might just qualify you for an award, okay? And this is not those awards that you pay for. So if I have my way, I will pay yourself for receiving the award. You know, you just know, maybe God might make me a mega billionaire before then. So I have what it takes to even give you a seed, okay? A seed for you to add to your business, okay? Then of course, by tomorrow is a special day for me, Kemi, and for every one of us at Lifestyle Up. You know why? Lifestyle Up will be 4 years tomorrow. Lifestyle Up will be 4 years tomorrow. Lifestyle Up is a product of my then Project 40. Okay, you know, because when I was 30, my situation was very critical. When I say critical, I mean real critical. You know, it was as if I was never going to have the ability to achieving greatness. And when I just had some little reflection, I said, no, Abioye, you cannot have Project 35 because this your condition is too critical. Create a 10-year plan for yourself. And I called it Project 40. And every day for 10 years, I was like a madman. If you come too close to me, I will talk about Project 40. You say, what is Project 40? I want to be financially free at 40. You know, and of course, 6 years into my Project 40, Lifestyle was given birth to, and Lifestyle will be 4 years tomorrow. And we are so excited about it. There's going to be a very short, broadcast, like it's a press conference, and there are different press houses that will be syndicated to be part of that broadcast, to be hosted by our Momo. And it's just a 15-20 minutes broadcast. I'll be sharing the timing on the WhatsApp group, the Project 40 WhatsApp group. Please join us live tomorrow and just be part of our 4th year anniversary broadcast. And you also have an idea what we've been able to learn and what we intend to do differently as we drift into our 5th year. It takes 5 years to build a world-class organization. And I think we are going world-class. You know, we are going global officially from tomorrow, and I need you all to be part of it. Thank you so very much, everyone, for the congratulatory messages. Okay, so I want to encourage you to also please go to the YouTube channel, create a time, watch all the past episodes. You know, I remember clearly it was Jimmy Tewe that started this platform for us, you know, with the first edition. You know, we spoke about purpose. Then from there, we moved to Madame Merola. You know, at some point, Nia Adesoya was around, Ugwemego was there. You know, a whole lot of top people, you know, have been able to coach and mentor us. Maybe based on what Kemi has said today, I need to go and look for a therapist, you know, that could have a session with us, you know, in the course of the lifetime of this Project 40, especially on this very season of the Project 40. Now, before Kemi does a quick summary for us, There are two people that have been very consistent with using of their cameras because it shows that you are not selfish. It shows that it shows presence. Because some people, you know what we do during Zoom meetings, we will just go on Zoom. Let Abioye just know I'm around. Then they'll go under their duvet, they will just sleep off. Okay. It's when you want to catch them is when you say, okay, we need this person to please contribute. Okay. So I will there is one of Kemi's book, and the very first day I met Kemi, you know, at a function at a hotel, you know, I saw the book with her. I guess she had the book for someone else or something. I'm sure that book was not meant for me, you know, and I jacked the book from her. You know, it was leadership guidance. Am I correct?
Yes.
Fantastic. It was leadership guidance. I read that book. I say, wow. It was because I read that book, I knew the content in that book was fresh. And that's why I said, even before she started speaking to us today, I confidently said that she was going to share fresh content with us today. And I want to encourage every one of you to look for that book, Leadership Guidance. Okay. I don't know if Kemi, maybe on the chat column, if you can drop a link where we can get that book to buy. But 2 people will be having this book for free. I'm going to get 2 for those that had their cameras on for the longest time today. I know some of us, our cameras came in on and off at some point. Okay, so the first person that has been consistent with his camera today, because it really shows 100% present, it's Solomon Walter. Okay, Solomon Walter, you are going to have a copy, not a digital copy now, the real copy that you can use to decorate your shelf. And every morning the book will be said to you, Solomon, read me, Solomon, read me, Solomon, read me. Okay, until you finally read it. Okay, so Solomon, congratulations to you. Please, what we're going to do is that Progress, please do me a favor. Kindly drop one of our official line on the group, one of our official phone numbers on the group. Let Solomon text his details there. Then we will get the book across to Solomon. Then also the second person that will be winning the book today, Leadership Guardian, is Omotade Mark. You know, Omotade Mark, she is also been so present today. And of course, I'm going to get a copy of that book to you. You're even lucky. Kemi is primarily based in Lagos. I believe you are based in Lagos too. I think you should look for Kemi because there are some attributes I see in you, and I see a potential Kemi in Omotade Mark already. So Omotade, please kindly ask your questions.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. And I want to say a very big thank you to Madam Ogunkoya. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate. First of all, let me just say I did not want to be here today because I'm at that point in time. I'm at that point, that particular time where I'm having so many challenges in my business and have been so pressurized. I've been under so much pressure for weeks now, 2 weeks now. I've been running all around doing some things because I think this is one of the trying moments for me where I get to ask myself the whole Tade, are you sure you're called out for this entrepreneurship journey? But I think I'm happy because after listening to everything that Madam Kemi Ogunkoya said, I think I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this section. I'm grateful because I think I'm able to gather some strength from everything, and most especially when she talked about self-management, when she spoke about emotional intelligence. I'm sorry, I feel like crying right now, but I'm just kind of overwhelmed and I'm happy. I'm grateful for attending the section and I'm grateful for you for creating this platform, a place where people can come together and learn. And I want to just add something. When it gets to that point, you know, you said we should think about solution and not be worried. Yes, what do you do when you try to think about solution, when you try to implement a solution and things are not just working out the way you feel, the way you expected? Not that you're not thinking solution, but the solution is not even forthcoming. It's not working. Every effort you're putting into it is not just, it's not yielding any result. What can you do at that point in time? What is that thing that you can do? I'm just so perplexed, but thank God for this section.
Well, I
Thank
just
you,
want to hug
Omotade.
you, Omotade. I really want to give you a hug. I hope you can feel it from where you are, but I really just, I'm giving you a hug from here. So I'd let Dr. Abioye speak and so that I can respond to the question.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Omotade. I think you are just you are 3 feet away from gold. You are just 3 feet. I can see it already. You are just exactly 3 feet away from gold. This is not the time to stop digging. You've got to dig. You've got to dig. And I would like Kemi to please respond, so that she can share some concepts on how you can dig skillfully.
Thank you very much for that, Omotade. A big well done. And I love that you won the book, really, because you were really present. I saw that you were really present, and it's amazing how when we go in search of something, we actually find it, right? When we go in search of something, we find it. Now, I spoke a bit about my story earlier. Probably I wasn't able to share it fully, but I remember that at that point when everything went down, I was back home. I was frustrated. I was angry, and I told you one of the things that came to me then, which was about, becoming better at who you are. I want you to know that you're on a journey, right? And, this journey is not a journey of death, right? So, which means that I'm not going to say, oh, if it's not working at all, just keep putting, no. But from what I hear you say, I hear, I hear the possibility of tomorrow. And I say that a lot of times that, for those very big trials, right, there's a very big reward. So if you have put in so much already, I don't want you to go with the mindset of, oh, you've tried everything, because everything can be relative, okay? I usually come from the point of view of resourcefulness rather than resources. Now, a lot of us are trying to get more resources. You think maybe money is a problem. Meanwhile, the problem may be people, right? It may be that you need a mentor who has gone through this same thing, who will tell you one thing, boom, and everything goes away.
Yeah.
It could be that, you need access to certain information that you currently don't have. But you see, now is not the time to give up. Now is the time to become more resourceful. Now, resourceful is not resourcefulness. Resourcefulness is not resources, because resourcefulness happens in your mind. So which means that there's something we call it the E plus E times R equal to O formula. It's a formula by Jack Canfield. And it says that event times response or reaction is equal to the outcome, right? What happens is that we react, or when we respond, we're responding from a place of limited possibility. So we do not open our mind to see that, okay, I can respond through option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we have been taught is to see how if I just do A, it should get me to the end, right? So don't get caught in the distraction. Do not get caught in the pain. When Dr. Abioye was speaking earlier, he spoke about the place of fantasy. I need you to, romance that possibility, because it's possible for you, right? If you want us to catch up after the session, I'm willing to understand what the unique challenge is, but I bet a whole lot of the time, it is more resourcefulness than it is resources. When I share the experience of starting out in business, I took all the money that I had at that point and I started the business. Everything went down. When I was starting all over again, I didn't have the money to put in the business. But guess what? I had the depth of resourcefulness. I understood how to now start making money from no money. You know, I understood how to, the concept of this free, giving value. I gave value for free. I gave it for free. Oh yeah, you want me to come and speak? I'm coming to speak. It is on that platform. I give myself for free, pour myself out, and somebody said, "Oh, you were so amazing. You were so amazing. Can you come and train us in our organization?" They would not have an idea that I didn't get a pin for showing up. So I want you to think resourcefulness rather than resources, and start fantasizing the possibility of that future. There's no dream that is too big for you. Before you think of the how, fantasize with the what. Let it stay in your head. You know, think about it and don't put yourself under the pressure of, you know, it has to be done by tomorrow. You're on a journey. It's a marathon. It's not a race. So yes, your projection could have been in 3 years, I should do this. Realign your objective. When Dr. Abioye was talking about this project 40, right? He said it was initially supposed to be project 35. At 35, he thought that, oh, you know what, we need to move the goalpost. So personally, what I do, I don't put myself under the pressure of performance. I set my goals in 10-year blocks, right? And then I gradually now cascade into yearly, goals. There's this quote that I'm not sure who is attributed to, that we sometimes overestimate what we can achieve in 1 year and underestimate what we can do in 10 years. So it could be around resourcefulness, it could be around reprioritizing, it could be around, you just seeing differently or stepping into a different perspective other than yours. Right? So I hope that helps. But I'm happy to have a conversation with you after now to see, how I can help.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is helpful.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Kemi. Thank you so much, Kemi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Omotade, too, for being authentic. And thank you. Yeah, thank you for because a lot of people, trust me, if we had to do a survey right now, there are a lot of people right now on this call that they are exactly in your shoes. So you are not alone. But the truth is that, like Kemi rightly said, it's a process and you are just on your way towards achieving greatness. Okay. So, and I'm glad, that things are going to fall in place for your business very shortly. And I like, sometimes it's very good when we ask questions, it helps us to even help us squeeze our guests even better. You can imagine another fantastic thoughts that Kemi just brought to play right now. Talking about resourcefulness versus resources. And he said resourcefulness happens in our mind. And our mind is the biggest continent in the world. It's limitless. It's limitless. Like I said earlier by the quote by Miles Monroe, that the day you discover how powerful you are, that very day you'll be so scared of yourself. Okay. I respect myself so much because I know what I'm capable of doing. Like John Maxwell said, that's why I love, there are different leadership authors out there. John Maxwell is one of those people I follow so closely. He said, as a leader, when you are leading and nobody is following you, you are not leading, but you are simply taking a walk. And it's the same John Maxwell that also said, again, that a true leader is never scared of taking a walk. Okay? So it might seem you are taking a walk right now. Your system is just going through a reset. And like, just follow everything Kemi just said. If you lost track of it, just watch a replay and you'll be so delighted. I have 2 quick questions before we wrap up gradually. And I thank you all for staying. Please stay. Let's end this conversation together. Okay, please, let's end this conversation together. I would quickly like to to invite Mr. Victor Anilaju to please kindly share his contribution or question for us this week. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for joining us again this week, of this month, I mean.
Thank you, Abioye. How are you doing? I know you've had a very busy and a serious day. I want to say your last word having us for this week is, I'm here to just say three things. I want to advise or ask that if we can make this more like a weekly event. The monthly gap sometimes doesn't help us. We gather enough information before the next event, we would have lost grip of it, right? Because the challenges we all faces today in businesses, we need that weekly clinic where we can go rub our minds and discuss. So I want you and your team to look into it, how we can make it every week or every other week. The monthly gap is is too much, right? So that's to comment that what we are doing now is working perfectly well. I would have joined since I was just trying to get my phone and join. Then for my my sister that is going through what she's going through right now, I want to let you know that it's because you are making a headway, because you are succeeding. That is why you are facing challenges. It's only people who are succeeding that face challenges. If you're failing, you don't see challenges. And success is not about the money that you acquire in business. Success is about the life that you are able to impact through your business, right? Because I think there's a wrong perspective about business and people. So people feel, oh, I've started this business, I've made 1 billion, so I'm succeeding. No, you can make 1 billion in 2 years and your business will crumble because it's affected people negatively. Or you can impact people for the next 2 years with just making like 500,000. But after that 2 years, you might be so shocked that you can become one of the best company in the world. Take the likes of Elon Musk today that has acquired Twitter. He had started some other businesses that did not fly, that did not go well. We never knew about him some years ago. But today he's one of the richest, and if not the richest. So I always say this, but one thing I will always tell you, when you are going through what you are going through, look for people around you that understand what you are going through. It doesn't have to be your pastor, because this is not a spiritual matter. It has to be business people. Connect with business people, because a lot of times, a lot of us have vision, but we don't have the people around us that can run with that vision, right? So just look for people like Dr. Abioye is doing right now. Look for people. Everything you're looking for is in the hand of one person. It might be money, it might be connection, it might be advice. There are things I've done today that you tell me if I'm able to do it 2 years ago, I'll tell you no. And you ask me why, I'll tell you I don't have the money. But today I do it for free. One of it is to be on air. I always love to be on TV. And as that time I was asking, they told me I will pay 350,000, right? But today I speak in all national stations for free, right? Because I met somebody that told me what to do and how to go about it. So sometimes it's not really about money. It's not about you. It might just be that there's 1 or 2 persons you need to connect with. With this, I would just want to ask another questions. How many of us here have our PVC? How many of us here are ready to vote? 2023 is barely 8 months from now. How many of us here have our candidates? Now, because I always say this whenever I come on this platform, because that is my experience. A lot of you wants to grow bigger businesses, mega businesses. But let me tell you the truth. The government, the people in power will determine whether your business will grow or not. No matter the strategy, the idea, the force that you put into it, if the policy of the government does not favor your business, it will not grow beyond now. So as entrepreneurs, we need to be intentional, deliberate about the people we vote in as presidents, as governors, as senators, as a House of Representatives. We need to vote in people who have this entrepreneurship mindset so that they can make policies that will encourage our businesses. I will say this and I'll round off with this. China today pays their citizens money and give them loan to go to African countries and invest. But right here and now in Nigeria, we have so much money as an entrepreneur, you cannot even get access for funding for your own business. Why? Because the people in our government, we have a vice president that is a lawyer that don't understand anything about business. We have a president that is halfway maybe sick and is old in age, that doesn't understand the dynamics of the 21st century business. I don't want us to make that mistake. We need to make sure that come 2023, we have a business-minded president and governors to represent us. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. And God bless every person, our speaker, Abioye, and the team. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor. Thank you so much for the advice also given to my dear sister, Omotade. Sorry, Kemi, I know you have to go right away because you have another session for 8 o'clock. In 30 seconds, just give us a quick summary of everything you've said. And of course, as she's saying it on the chat column, please kindly join me in thanking Kemi for sacrificing so much to be here today. Just say, thank you, Kemi. Kemi, we love you. Kemi, I'm going to buy you dinner the day I see you. Kemi, I can't wait to take you for lunch. I'm sure my appreciation. You know, by the way, one of the best way to appreciate Kemi, go straight to our website and place an order for any of her books. Okay, so over to you, Kemi.
All right, thank you so much. It's been a great time here today. I think what I want to leave us with, I have said it a couple of times. Let's invest in ourselves, right? Let's turn insights into actions. Let's turn insights into actions. Nothing will happen if we do nothing, right? So we will not, we should not expect any significant results. If at the end of today, you know, we're all pumped up right now and then, you know, it just becomes part of our self-esteem. It shouldn't be the case. There's a place of understanding or listening. There's a place of turning insights into action, and that's where the rubber hits the road. So let's get to work. Let's keep building. Let's keep developing self-competence. Let's keep leading ourselves right. We owe ourselves that much. And I believe that, you know, there's nothing you put your heart to and you put your mind to that you cannot achieve. So congratulations to us all in advance. And I look forward to connecting with you soon.
Thank you. Sorry, before you leave, your Instagram handle again, please.
Okay, so I am Kemi.Ogunkoya on Instagram. Kemi.Ogunkoya on Instagram. And you know, you can reach me on Instagram, you can reach me on LinkedIn. Or I think I play a lot on Instagram and LinkedIn. So just send me a message on Kemi.Ogunkoya and I will definitely connect. So sorry if I've not been able to, you know, respond to some messages that are coming in. I would have to run now because of another engagement. So if you have any message, please, you know, reach out to me on Instagram and, you know, I look forward to connecting.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kemi. I'll catch up with you later. I appreciate your coming and God bless you so much. God bless you. And to every one of us that joined today's edition, I just want to appreciate you. Our time is up already. And of course, we will be back again next month. And thank you, Mr. Victor, for that suggestion. It's going to be very difficult for us to run this kind of session every week because of what it takes to bring it together, you know. But what we can introduce as inspired by this suggestion is that we can start a weekly training via the WhatsApp platform, We are going to start a weekly training via the WhatsApp platform. Then, of course, every month, once in a month, we have a live session like this via Zoom. So at least that would be a good place to start, because I understand where Mr. Victor is coming from. Because the more we learn, we hear ourselves, the more we get reinforced. And the more we are reinforced, the stronger we become. So please follow Kemi on Instagram. Immediately after this session is Kemi.Ogunkoya. And of course, if you are not following me yet on Instagram, it's the Abioye OK, all right? The Abioye OK, that is my Instagram. So let's follow ourselves and let's know what everybody is doing, all right? So on the WhatsApp platform, I'm going to put up some information very shortly on the timeline for those of us that have great ideas and you are looking for how to pitch those ideas to potential investors. I thank you so very much. So let me say this finally, knowledge without action equals frustration. Knowledge plus action equals greatness. All I wish you today is greatness. Thank you. God bless you. I will see you again next month. Bye for now.